Hello, happy Tuesday. I actually was going to change it up a little bit this week. I normally post somebody's testimonial. Usually, I like the kid stories. So I'm going to incorporate two of them today. So I was going to update on mine since I've been using this stuff for about 2.5 years now, and it's completely changed my life. So this might be brand new to you. I will tell you, I'm going to try to make this a little bit briefer, but my whole story on how I even got involved with CBD. So basically, most of my life from about 10 years old till my 30th birthday, really, is I was like a medical mystery. I won't go into all the details, but basically, lifelong back issues, passing out. But long story short, it was finally figured out when I was 30 that I had narcolepsy. And when I was a teenager, they diagnosed me like the poster child for fibromyalgia, which no clue what that was back then. Really, there was nothing to do. They just was supposed to make me feel better that I had a name now, but it didn't. So I'm sure everybody is way more familiar with that now. But that's what it was. So went forever with this, and the back issues that I had were just ridiculous. I mean, doctor after doctor, and nothing was ever bad enough, like broken enough or whatever that should have caused the amount of pain that I was having. So it was just a ridiculous cycle. And finally, after having kids and stuff, and I was like, that's just it. I kind of came to terms with this is as good as it's going to get, and I'm just going to have to deal with it. But fast forward now to having kids, and, you can suffer, you can not have the best and do all that stuff. But when it comes to your kids, you're going to make sure things happen, of course. So when my oldest was diagnosed with Tourette's when he was about 6 or 7, they also threw a bunch of labels at him and called him this and that. And that wasn't, whatever. We were going to deal with what the issues were, and, trying the traditional Western medicine and how they do things, and weren't getting anywhere. So fast forward through all that, and I've had enough of trying and trial and error with that. So I had heard CBD's this, miracle cure all. I figured it was just hype, and obviously nothing is that exciting. But needless to say, I started researching like a lunatic, everything about it. I spent a small fortune trying all different brands and, hours trying to figure it out because nobody would help you with anything. But I tried all these brands, and I was like, okay, yep, it sucks. It doesn't work. Not one of those things. Most were just flat out disgusting, and he wouldn't try them. That was a big issue. So did this for about 2 years, and then I was like, you know what? CBD's just hype. Doesn't really work. I can't figure this out. This is just how things are going to be. So luckily, the day that I was about to give up on all of this, somebody had reached out to me and was like, I could talk to you, basically wasn't trying to sell me anything, just said, let's talk. I can, explain this to you. So we talked on one of these, Facebook things, and she explained everything to me. It was literally like the angel. So Susie, if you're watching, that was you. Explained it to me, and I was like, get out of here. That is, okay. So she also told me about a company, that they do everything. They have, they're USDA certified organic. They have 6th-generation hemp farmers, they do everything from planting the seeds to shipping it. And there's nobody in between. And of course the owners their story was incredible. Like the mom, Meredith, is, she had some postpartum stuff going on. And like I said, she tried CBD and it helped her, but it wasn't safe enough for kids. She couldn't find one that she trusted enough just for kids. So they made it, their friends were farmers, and that's how that story got started. But, right then when she was telling me about this, and I was like, great. So this sounds amazing, but I'm not going to be able to afford, however many, I'm assuming $100-ish a month. I'm like, I can't add that on and just, because I was convinced that it was going to work. Just after talking, I'm like, it's got to work. It's the last thing. It was my last straw. So, and then she says, there was like these kids, it was only one kid at the time, you can buy this, and it's, basically half off of most our products. And I was like, okay. And I'm instantly like, oh no. And I'm like, I don't sell things. I tried selling, and, being a makeup artist, I tried selling, makeup stuff. Nope. I tried selling skincare. Nope. So I'm like, I'm terrible at this. So, but every fiber of my being was like, you're doing this. So I was like, ugh. I went all in and I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm convinced this is going to change my life and my son. So I did it, and I'm still surprising myself, first of all, but with the products itself was, you know, and like my son has the attention problems. So I'll start with mine. You know, when I started taking it, and then they help you with dosing, which was unbelievable, because that was a big problem before, is nobody would help you because they considered it doctor or medical advice. And I was like, great. So I just have to figure it out. Anyways, so I started with it, you know, the full spectrum, and, you know, having this severe issue forever. So I was like, all right, I will do this. And I, you know, being patient, which is not my strong suit. And I remember the 23rd day that I woke up and I sat up and I'm like, okay. And then I remember Luke, my oldest, walked by and he's like, Mom, he's like, are you dreaming? Are you having a bad dream? And I'm like, no. He's like, why are you standing there crying? And I'm like, I kid you not. I could bend over and touch my toe and I was crying. Like, I don't know if anybody has to deal with any chronic pain stuff, but holy crap. I woke up and I was like, I could do that, and nothing, like, felt like shattered glass in my spine, and it was game over. Like, I was a total different person and believed in this, and I was like, everybody on the planet needs to know about this. So, but yeah, that was a huge day, and I'll never forget that. So another thing with him, if you recall all the homeschoolingness that happened, you know, back in 2020, that was no fun for kids who can't pay attention, or anybody. But I remember thinking, like, what's going to happen? You know, is it going to be like a switch flips and I'm going to just have a totally different kid? Like, I didn't really know what to expect. But it was the craziest thing, because I remember being on the phone, you know, and their Zoom issues that they're doing, and I could just never get him to sit there and focus, which is no fun. But I was on the phone and I'm like, I was actually talking about, what is the CBD going to look like when this happens? And it just dawned on me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I haven't told him once to sit down or pay attention, or actually your class is starting. Like, I didn't do any of that. And he's sitting there writing, paying attention, and doing his work. So I was like, oh my gosh, that was it. It wasn't some big light bulb moment. It was just normal. Like, this is what it should be like. And it was honestly one of the coolest things. So if you're one of those parents, you can probably relate, but that was a big deal. And his sleeping right off the bat was, he said he felt like a new person the next day. Like, it's amazing, because we all have these receptors all over our bodies that have completely been emptied, and it's never had anything to fill it back up. So it is a huge difference, and it's something that we all need. And I didn't know that. So now that is my absolute major mission in life, is to make sure everybody knows that, because like I said, I've failed miserably at selling, and that wasn't something I ever wanted to do again. And now I do, but I don't really think of it like that. I think this is something that everybody needs to know more about, and that's what I'm doing. And it's been pretty life-changing, like, just from what I just explained, and the business side of this. Like I told you, you know, I couldn't sell makeup as a makeup artist, so that should tell you something. But oddly enough, I won top sales in Michigan. Like, that's not bragging. That's just kind of mind-blowing, because I went into this failing miserably before. So I tell you what, I am no expert on this journey, but I'm learning, and I'm talking to me yesterday. So if this is you and you need help with that, let me know. I'm happy to tell you anything I know, or you can follow like Instagram. I take a lot of this like journey stuff like this, but I tell you what, this is something that is going to be around for a long time, and something I think if you have any interest in doing, let me know, because this is it's not like a typical sales thing. This has been just being honest and sharing your whole journey, and life-changing for me. So yeah, I kind of went all over with that. There's more, but that is enough of that story. So if you have any questions about it, or if I can help with anything, let me know. And happy Tuesday.